We'll call the meeting to order. This is our budget hearing presentation will be first, and we can go ahead and get started with that. Good evening, Mitch.
Good evening. Waiting for it to come up. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
I'm glad you all came to hear me speak.
Gotta support each other.
Do I have control?
No.
Yes, so give me 1 second. So what is the first attachment?
This one.
Bigger for you.
Here we go. All right. Welcome to the budget hearing. I'm going to try to make it as painless as possible. So this is our F-195, which is a regular budget, and the F-195F, which is the four-year outlook. All right, so first thing is our enrollment. We budgeted for 2,182 FTE. It's an increase from the 24-25 budget of 129 FTE. That's a pretty big increase. It's only an increase of 26.63 from the actual FTE from last year. So it is an increased budget over budget. We'll watch that throughout the year because, you know, if every kid's $10,000, then that's $266,000 that we've got to watch for. So I like showing this. This is the enrollment history over the last few years. And you can see year over year from 2019-20, where we were at 1,955 FTE, up until this year, we're at 2,155.37. So pretty good numbers. That's a pretty good increase in that time span. The numbers down below are what we've budgeted for certificated. Actually, these are the actual for certificated staff and classified staff FTE, remembering that your classified staff may not be a full FTE, and so that's not the number of people, that's the number of FTE we have. So you may have 2 half-time classified staff, that it's 1 FTE. So the numbers for the budget this year are 160.9 FTE for certs, and 127.4 for classified. I do think that classified number is a little bit inflated since our actual for the year was 87 FTE. All right, revenues, we got federal grants, things like Title I, Title II. If we get Title IV, we've got Title III. Food service is a federal revenue for the most part. The state money, general and special purpose. So special purpose would be something like the SPED money that comes from the state. And then our basic apportionment. Local, so local, everybody thinks that the levy is just your local. It's not just levy, it's also some of the things that come from the state. There's a few things that are branded as local dollars that are thrown in, but fines and fees. If somebody wants to buy stuff a la carte from food service, that's a local as well. And then there's other revenues that we get from non-high. We have the transportation co-op where we're doing stuff for, I believe it's Skycomish. So, all right, so revenues this year, we budgeted at $45.5 million. How it breaks out is local funds of $5.5 million. The majority of that is levy dollars. And then the state funds, $36 million. Federal are budgeted at $1.7 million. And the other category is $1.7. The thing about the other category is that's where we put our contingency. So we put a contingency for revenue and a contingency for expenditures. They equal each other out. They wash it. And we do that so that we don't have to come back mid-year and ask for more money and do a budget extension. Thank you. I was going to say revision, but extension's the correct word. So here's how the pie works, right? The pie, we get 80% from state funds. And then the federal and other are the small pieces, and the local funds is 12%. So that's pretty good. So expenditures for staffing, $36 million. So of course the biggest part of our budget, 79% percent is staffing. 18.9 million for certs, 7.9 for classified, and then benefits at 9.4. MSOC, material supplies, operating costs, 21% of the budget, 23 million budgeted there. Supplies, materials, purchase services is the big one. Things like utilities fall under purchase services, as well as if we need contracted staff, that falls under purchase services as well. And then capital outlay, which is travel, transfers out, and then capital outlay is defined as any single item that's $5,000 or more. So I always put it in this context. If I buy 5 computers that cost me $1,000 a piece, that's not capital outlay. But if I buy 1 server that's $5,000, that is capital outlay. So it's the single item. So all of the MSOC, 23 million. So the total for expenditures budgeted is 46 million. So here's how that breaks down. You can see the percentage. Certificated salaries is 41.2% of your budget. That's typical. Benefits is a big chunk, right? 20% of the budget is benefits. And then you can see the percentages. The travel and the capital outlay sitting right down there. Travel, we're gonna have to figure something out because this last year we spent over $60,000 in travel. So I'm not quite sure how we got to 13.5 in the budget, but we'll figure it out. So we can move some things around. And the other financing uses, that's the transfer to debt service to pay on the very first bond we ran in 2019. So here's how it breaks down. Biggest piece of the pie is certificated salaries. That's typical for school districts. And classified salaries, benefits. Little tiny slices for travel and capital outlay up there. Feel free to stop me at any point in time, ask me questions. I'm going full speed. So this year for salaries, the 24-25, I say this year because theoretically in my mind I'm still in 24-25, $41.9 million. So $42 million was budgeted for expenditures. 46 million this next year. It's an increase of 9.7%. So fund balance, it's budgeted. Again, that's estimated ending fund balance of 2.0, so $2 million. Revenues coming in 45.5 million, expenditures going out 46 million, transfers out 100,000 basically. Estimated ending fund balance 1.5 million. It is a deficit budget. We cannot sustain a deficit budget, so we have to watch very carefully, especially if those other kids don't come in and we lose another $270,000.
So Mitch, if we do get an influx beyond the 29, then it's gonna help us potentially on that 500,000.
You bet, you bet. It will help us that way. So required every year, we have to do the MSOC disclosure. This is where we say this is what the state estimate for MSOCs is gonna give us in basic ed. So that's 01, 02, 03, and 97. So basic ed, I'm sorry, I've done this so long. Basic ed, ALE, outdoor, or not outdoor, credit recovery, and then 97, which is general district support. So money in, $3 million by estimate, money out, $3.7 million for expenditures over revenue of almost $700,000, which again is typical for districts. So this is the whole section in the budget bill that says that we got to do this report, and if our MSOC actually was less than we got, we would have to say how we're using that extra dollars for student support, and it's not. Capital projects. So what are we doing in capital projects? We got building projects, we've got some major building repairs, technology levy money is going through there. And then we have bond payments, and bond payments is the biggest piece of the capital projects in my mind. We have 3 outstanding bonds. The last bond will be paid off in 2034. So that's a huge concern on my mind. So funding sources are, of course, fund balance that's in capital projects and the levy money coming in. And so if we look at the estimated ending fund balance for capital projects, $385,000. Revenues in, so the levy money coming in, $4.2 million. Expenditures are budgeted $1.2 million, and then transfers out. So we're transferring to general fund to pay for some technology staff, and then we're transferring to debt service to do the bond payment. Projected ending fund balance, $2 million. For the record, that's not my phone. Debt service is used to finance outstanding debt. I like to finance buses and then use depreciation to make those finance payments. So right now, we just have the three bonds outstanding, but as we move forward to replenish, we'll talk about when we get to transportation vehicle fund, but the healthier our fleet is, the safer our kids are, as well as the less we have to do for maintenance and repairs and stuff. So I come with a philosophy of we keep at least half the fleet on depreciation so that we can afford to replenish it on a regular basis. So debt service beginning fund balance is $126,000. Revenues in $803,000, out revenues expenditures $803,000 for a net ending fund balance of the same as we came in the door with. ASB, I always go back. ASB are student dollars, right? They have to budget for it. They have to do the fundraising for it. They have to say how to spend it. They have to approve it, right? 7th grade and above, the kids have to be involved. 6th grade below, the principals can make the decisions for the ASBs. But I always come back to the expenditures have to be CARS related, so cultural, athletic, recreational, and social, right? So it can't be related to curriculum. And the money, again, it's the students' money, and I always come back to that, so I'll get off my soapbox. Beginning fund balance estimated $200,000. The revenues and other financing sources, basically just revenues coming in of $347,000. Expenditures out budgeted $380,000, ending balance $167,000. Now, those numbers are high. We're not going to spend that much money, and we're not going to bring in that much money in ASB. So this is something that we'll work with the kids throughout the year to talk about how do these numbers look? How do we make sure that they're a little more aligned? TVF. All right, we're budgeting and purchase at least one brand new bus this next year, okay? My goal is always to utilize depreciation to pay for the buses. And if we can get away without financing, we'll do it. If we have to finance, then that's also, it's a valid way to do it. Using the state's local program is a great way to get a low interest rate for a short period of time. So $126,000 is the estimated beginning fund balance. Revenues coming in of $303,766. Money going out, $305,000. For net ending fund balance of $124,000. So now we have the F-195F. This is our 4-year outlook. It's intended to give us an idea of what the future looks like and how do we move forward, right? And a lot of districts end up with a negative at the end. I was very pleased to see that running numbers with a conservative, there is an increase in enrollment over the years, and that's simply because of the grade roll-ups. We have a smaller senior class right now, and so if everything trends up, then we will trend on an increased enrollment. So, in the projection over the next 4 years, looks at, starting with the next year's budget of 2,182 kids, or FTE, going up to 2,385. Okay, so that's the growth that's expected in the area, and all of those things. Put in there an increase in expenditures in the 26-27 school year of 5%, and then 2% the following 2 years, just to be a little more conservative. Levy is budgeted, and it's gonna fluctuate, right? But the budget numbers that I used start us at, $5 million and go up to $6 million. And we know that we're going out for a levy this next year, and so we'll talk about that at a future board meeting. I was gonna move over here, but it's the same thing on both screens. So assumptions in capital projects, continuing projects, technology, purchases and services, debt service, of course, we're gonna be doing bond payments for quite a while. And then TVF is, we're gonna have depreciation, and we're gonna make sure that we have a healthy fleet. So this is a look at, just kind of in general, our enrollment, K-12. So this breaks it down with, that total number is a different line item, isn't it? Because 66 is not the total K-12. So it's Running Start. There's a line item that goes right in the middle of Running Start, and that's your dropout reengagement. That 14 is the dropout reengagement. Then the 66 is the ALE. And so the total K-12 is, I don't do math in my head, those four numbers added together. So I apologize. I used a template that I had at a previous district that didn't have that line item in the middle. So mea culpa. FTE, I kept it steady for CERT and steady for classified.
Question on the forecast for 26-27.
Yep.
And that's the 5% increase, I'm assuming.
Not on the kids.
Okay.
The 5%'s in expenditures.
Okay.
So the way the kids work is we just do a standard roll-up, grade to grade to grade.
Okay.
And so I kept the TK at 54 because we're capped at 54. Right now we have a waiting list. And so basically those 54 then moved up to kindergarten, in the kindergarten number the next year and such. And because we had a big number in 12th grade going out, that's way up. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, so if you look at 12th grade across here, we've got 105 right there in, and then if you've got a kindergarten class of 150 that comes in, it's gonna, we've got that increase of the 50 kiddos. I had to look at that several times because I was like, how do we jump so quickly, so fast? And it was, we need to hold on to those kiddos at the high school level, right? We need to do whatever we can to create new ways to keep them so they're not going to, a parent partnership program outside of our district. What are the things that we can do to offer more services to kiddos to keep them here?
Just an increase of 100 kiddos is a lot. It's a big deal.
It is. It's a huge
Show
show.
building, and I know it's a forecast, and I understand that. It's just something that we're gonna have to definitely revisit this coming year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if 100 is something that I can palate, going forward. 'Cause every time we put like 3 digits on there, we get like 30 kids increase. So,
No,
and
I'll take 30.
but it's 70.
Yeah, that's 70, and that also then affects the revenues coming in, and
Exactly.
then we have to look at the money.
We were saying this would be a good thing for like a budget retreat, so we can kind of go over the forecast and everything together.
Sorry, Mitch, sorry to
No, nothing to be sorry about. No, this is your meeting. I'm the guy behind the, pay no attention to the guy behind the curtain. Okay. All right, so general fund, looking at a beginning balance of $2 million for this next year, ending at 1.5 million. We all know that it's not sustainable to keep this up, right? Because the loss year over year gets us, you know, at the end, we're at 491, so we're still positive, but that's not near what we need. I personally feel comfortable if I've got at least 1 month in the bank to pay all the bills and all the payroll, because that's, everybody wants their check. So looking at it, revenues year over year, expenditures give us that ending fund balance of 491,000 at the end. Again, we need to take a look at it. Seriously figure out how we can get that number to increase.
It's actually higher than it was on our last one last year, so for me, I mean, it's not good, but it looks better than the last forecast that we had.
A lot of districts paint the picture to the drastic. And this to me is drastic, but it's not as drastic as, you know, there have been times where I've had to put, you know, we're gonna have to cut staff the following year. We're gonna have to, you know, really trim up the edges and I mean, we're gonna have to do that. But if the enrollment trends, then we should be good. Capital projects, we're out of money at the end, right? The capital projects levy expires the same time the regular levy expires. So the thing that we have to think about is those bond payments, once we hit 2028, 29, if we don't have capital projects levy, that's gotta come out of general fund. Debt service, you can see the payments for the outstanding bonds, you know, 803,000, 806,000. So it's, you know, yeah, we got some bills to pay. And then ASB, I always just take the year, the same numbers year to year to year to year. Again, it's the kids' money, they figure it out. And so it has to be in the 4-year forecast, so that's how we do it. And then transportation vehicle fund. Now the thing with transportation vehicle fund, you can see the expenditures and other financing uses. There's, you know, a bus is gonna cost us about 200 grand. So, you know, we get 2 buses in 26, 27, 2 in 28, or 27, 28, and 2 in 28, 29. So that's a good turnover. That's a good, only one of those years I used financing as part of the revenue source. And you can see that's the 26, 27. We go from, you know, 303,000 in depreciation to 500,000. Well, that's financing 1 bus. So operationally, you know, expenditures are greater than revenues for the most part. We can't sustain that, so we have to figure out how do we get to the minimum fund balance that the board has set? And then how do we get to, because that minimum fund balance isn't enough to pay the bills for 1 month. So how do we get to that place? You know, and my goal is to get us there sooner rather than later, so that we're all comfy. Projected ending fund balance at the end in general fund is 491,000. It's still extremely shy of that minimum fund balance. Again, the revenue is based on conservative. You budget high on expenditures, lower on revenues, and we watch it and we just continue forward. So, in summary, carefully calculated enrollment and fiscal management are key to projecting a sustainable outlook. And then having a levy it's key to our future success. Regardless of how things go, we've got to have a levy. Questions?
Thank you.
Is my time up? That was kind of perfect.
Mike,
No, thank you, Mitch.
Mary Ann?
Thank you.
But I love the new PowerPoint presentation slide.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, I used it at other districts, so there's been a couple things that today was,
Okay, but you're new, so we'll give you a hall pass.
well, so here's the joke, right? It's the dad joke, right? I've been using this for 10-ish years, and today was the first day that I was told I spelled buses wrong. I had 2 S's in buses. And so I asked Siri, and Siri says there's only one. And I said, no, my sister married Kevin Buss, and their last name is Buss. And so if I have the whole family, I have the Busses.
Thank you, Mitch. Do we have any public comments on the budget? Anyone wish to speak? No? Okay, then we will adjourn the budget hearing part of our meeting at 6:26. So, there we go. And then we're gonna call to order the regular meeting at 6:26 and let the record reflect that all elected and appointed board members are here with the exception of Isaac Huddy, who has been excused. And we have Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Review of the agenda, the only thing I wanted to add would be at the very end where the board members pick a date for a retreat. Dr. Granger, were there any changes or anything?
No, ma'am.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Can I get a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Good news and celebrations.
Yeah, I would just like to start with Sultan High School Principal Sarita Whitmire-Skeeth, recognizing that she has been nominated for the 25-26 AWSP Secondary Principal of the Year. I think this is a great recognition for Sarita and her leadership of the high school, along with many years in the district, and I think she deserves an opportunity to be recognized by the board and also in the community. It's not easy to render a nomination from someone, so I think we should celebrate these things as we continue to try to put good news in our community about the great work that's happening, and been nothing but great times with Sarita in the short 6 or 7 weeks we've been together, and just really felt like she deserved to be recognized publicly for in honor of 295 districts in the state. So even if all of them just had one high school, then she was nominated at a minimum 1 out of 300, which we know many of the larger districts have more high schools. So I think it's a tremendous honor. And
Congratulations. And I'm told we do want a picture.
okay.
I listened to Kayla.
We all.
Sure.
Can I say something?
Sure. No.
This is incredible, since you know she was a high school student from Sultan High School, graduated from Sultan High School, and then came back here to teach.
I was gonna say, we're doing this one at a time. Once it's all up.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
This backdrop make it look so good. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarita.
All right.
Second part of good news is just recognizing there were about 40 new staff hired in the district over the course of the spring and summer that were welcomed to the district last Thursday at Sultan Middle School, and a tremendous number of people that presented to them and onboarded them and welcomed them. It's overwhelming when you go to a new place and try to figure out the way things work and who's who and what's what. And so really wanted to share a picture of our new staff hires and recognize that we've welcomed them to the district. We'll look forward to all teachers come back starting tomorrow, but all staff will be back next Tuesday at 8 a.m. for the all-staff kickoff, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to be in front of everybody at one time and really launch the work for the year ahead that we've worked so hard with our cabinet and campus administrators and department leaders to set the course. So excited about that. Also attached, you'll just see some updated pictures from the summer projects. We want to be able to highlight the work that the voters have supported through the previous capital projects levies with the completion of the roof at Gold Bar Elementary, Sultan Elementary. They were out there today doing hopefully what is the final touches on the roof. Also, both gym floors are curing but look phenomenal. So pictures of those to come next month and in the community newsletter upcoming. But really appreciate the community's support, and we'll be leaning into that to get prepared for February for a future board meeting to talk to the board, as Mitch indicated, about the levy and kind of what the plans will be. We also know that bond planning and things are on the horizon, so the Citizens Facility Advisory Committee that existed before will convene this Thursday. This meeting is more of an opportunity for me to hear from them. What do they like about what the process has been like? Maybe what are they seeking to be different, so that as we schedule our future meetings with that group, try to be responsive to what they tell us. So really appreciate all the work that's happened over the summer between technology and maintenance and just department leaders and building leaders just stepping in and trying to make this as welcoming as a place it can be tomorrow, the day we all look forward to. It's kind of the anxiety builds for people until students show up. I think this is probably the most anxious staff will be is between tomorrow and September 2nd. So once kids show up, they know what to do for kids. They've done it for years. So this tends to be the next little period of time where we're trying to get all the little things done that they'd like to get done so they feel great serving kids. So appreciate all the work everybody's doing.
Thanks for the drone pictures, Dave. Appreciate that.
Any time Dave can put the drone in the air is a good day.
All right, public comment. We had no public comment last time, so we have no previously asked questions. We have no public comments today. So now we are back to Mitch.
Just in case you didn't get enough of me before.
Which one did you wanna, I'll let you pick which one.
Okay. That one. All right, so not much has changed in the overall format. This is numbers through the end of July. We're always a month behind because I don't get the county treasurer's statement usually until, around the, by law, they have to have it to us by the 8th business day of the month. And then there's the balancing and making sure everything gets put in. So we're usually a month behind. So this is the financial update through the end of July. I should use the buttons here. All right, so this enrollment didn't change because July and August, we tend to not have much for changes in enrollment. We do have, they extended out, like Running Start, you could have summer Running Start, which allows the kiddos to get some extra credits as well. So Running Start goes in the summer, and then our dropout re-engagement goes through the summer. Those are in your slides that are in your packet, not that we all look at up here. So enrollment here is the same. And you can see the numbers, again, the ALE number 66.55, so that's where the 66 pretty much came from. Special ed numbers, again, really high. So this is the new one. So last month you saw cash in the bank. This is the fund balance. So there's a little bit of a difference. Usually they're pretty close. The end of the year they get really, they tend to separate a little bit more. And it's because we're an accrual district, which means we accrue revenues when you earn them. And we have grants that we're still claiming on that we have to spend the money first before we can claim the money. Title I, the federal grants, you spend it first, then you get it back. And so at year end, we move money back into August. So the 1 month I wanna drop us back to is last month, right? The end of June. You can see we got down to 172,000 in fund balance. That is uncomfortable. We had to hold on to accounts payable for the month of June until apportionment came in at the end of the month because we didn't have $500,000 to pay the bills. So July's a big apportionment month. The legislature 1 year to balance the budget shifted the majority of your apportionment to come in July and August. You get 22.5% in those 2 months. The rest is spread over 10 months. So it was a way for them to balance a budget. It's kind of like depreciation for buses used to come in September, but they needed to balance budget 1 year, so they shifted it to the end of the year instead of the beginning of the year. That was a year that I had financing that I had to figure out because I was planning on that money to make those financing payments. That was a while back. So this is the cash in the bank in comparison to the fund balance. So this says we had $804,000 cash in the bank. Well, that's because at this point in time, at that snapshot in time, the federal taxes hadn't been taken out yet. So they didn't come out until July, the beginning of the month. So this is where that accrual versus the cash in the bank don't necessarily match up. But I wanted to give you that, I wanted to give you fund balance as well as cash in the bank. Number one, transparency. But number two, just to kind of get an idea as we hit the end of the year, why things are the way they are. The one thing I do want to point out, whether it's cash in the bank or it's fund balance, blue line is current year. We are below where we've been over the last 5 years. We're at the lowest point of 5 years. So, preaching to the choir, I know. All right, capital projects, all over the board, right? And it just depends on the projects as they've gone. Financing payments come out in sometimes November for December payments, sometimes it's December for the December payments. It just depends on when the county moves the cash when we ask them to do it. And then again, May and June for the next year. And then June, May is a big levy month. April it starts, we get our taxes, and the biggest part of our taxes is paid at the beginning of the year. We got about a 54% that, of the annual amount that comes in there. And then the amount it comes out in November. When you add the two up, they don't add up to 100%. So the average over the last few years have been about 97, 98%. So that's 2% of our levy money that's not coming in. All right, debt service. So low peak. So money comes in, right? And then money goes out right away. So you see the 2 months there going from November to December and May to June. ASB, I think we need to take a lesson from the kids, right? Because they're at the highest they've been in the last 5 years. And then TVF, we're down here, we're gonna get 300,000 plus for depreciation. So we'll jump back up in the month of August. All right, so year over year comparison for revenues. 2 years ago, we were at 89% of the budgeted revenues for the year. Then last year, we were at 88%. This year, we're at 91% of what we budgeted for revenues. So it's actually a pretty good number for revenues. This is the one that scares me, right? So we were at 90% for expenditures 2 years ago. Then last year, we were at 86.75%. That's pretty good. But this year, we're at 92% of expenditures already. That's pretty tight. So I'm watching that number because the difference between 38 and 41 is less than
Small.
bills and payroll. So, year over year, this point in time, last year, you could see revenues over expenditures. Well, we were spending too much. So the top line is June. I put June next to July for comparison. So you see the 1.6 million and then the 2.4 million, or not 2.4 million, 300,000. And then 1.8. You can see with July's increased apportionment how that changed. So, first year $700,000 difference. The next year, what is that? That's $1 million difference, a little over $1 million. And then this year, again, a little over $1 million. So that's that huge 12.5% that we get in apportionment dollars. Questions, comments, concerns?
Michael, questions?
No, thank you, it's very well done.
Mike,
No, thank you.
Marianne?
I do have a comment, on tile, I'm in the PDF version, 13, the last, keep going, towards the end, the one right before questions.
That one.
There you go. So July 2024, the black notates a positive, correct? So we didn't overspend like we did the other months in red, is that correct?
Correct.
So July, that would be the budget that we took, was it, Mike Vernell? Is that the budget we took 80 kids out of the enrollment? The original budget that was presented to us and then we dropped?
No.
Was that the
because-
previous year?
This is actual. So this is revenues over expenditure. So the kiddos that came in are part of the budget. They're part of the budgeted numbers. So
These are just what we spent.
this is the real picture of what our actual kids brought in. Or let's say it that
It's not really
differently.
the budget, this
Or
isn't a
FTE.
budget number.
Gotcha,
So-
okay.
I have no questions. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mitch.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Superintendent's report.
Yeah, I don't have too many things this month that we haven't hit on in the good news, just a reminder on the summer projects that were completed. We'll start our work with Thought Exchange on laying the foundation for the district's next strategic plan as staff and families start to come back. So we'll be looking to engage them in that process. We had a full house in here on Monday for supper with the superintendent in here, so it was good to see parents and the most children that I've ever seen. So that's good, cause that's why we're here, but got to answer some of their questions and we will review that school finance PowerPoint. It's kind of a general finance PowerPoint for the general voter at the work session on September 8th. That's gonna be in gold bar, just so you see what they saw. The feedback in it from the people in the room was, this is the most I've ever understood what levies and bonds really are. And so hopefully, as we try to simplify it for people and really reiterate the importance of levy and what we're gonna use it for, and then following through with what we tell them we're gonna do with it, with some of the reports like you saw tonight. Here's the roof completion here, so they can track that, I think will help build confidence in our work. And then again, the CFAC is gonna meet on Thursday at 6 in this room, so if you are interested in observing that or sitting, and this is again, just, this is not the district saying what we're gonna do with our next bond, but trying to get feedback from the committee that existed the last time one was put up as a starting point to get their feedback. So I just wanna thank again all the people that have been working so hard over the summer in the district office and the transportation, maintenance, technology departments, campus administrators to get ready for staff coming tomorrow. I'm really excited about the potential that's here for us to lean into the positive energy and try to set the course of our messaging is gonna really resolve around, we're a first class district that's gonna treat our staff and students like first class, and we need all of our things to represent first class. So from the decisions we make to the things we put in front of people, we're gonna be first class in what we do. And so really excited. This is the exciting time of year where more people start to come back and we're in a people business. So having people around is a good thing. So excited, and thank you again for the opportunity to be here and move forward. It's really exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, we had so many people, we are not gonna use this room again
Yeah.
for supper with the super,
That's
so.
right. It's a good problem.
Yes.
Consent agenda, does anyone have questions on the consent agenda? No? Okay, can I get a motion to approve consent agenda?
Motion. Go ahead.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, passes. Let's get to, if I can switch the page here. All right, so our business, adoption of the 25-26 budget. It didn't seem like, I think our questions were answered in the budget hearing, so do I have a motion to adopt the 25-26 budget?
I make a motion to adopt the proposed 25-26 budget.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it passes. Thank you, Mitch. Policy 6213, reimbursement for travel expenses, the first read. Did anyone have questions on that? We discussed a little bit at our agenda review last Thursday. No questions?
No questions.
Do I have a motion to approve policy 6213, reimbursement for travel expenses, first read?
I make a motion to approve policy 6213 for first read.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that passes. Policy 6225, use of electronic signature, first read. Did anyone have questions? And Dr. Granger, if you have anything you want to throw in when I go through
Okay.
these, but usually if we have questions, we've already asked them, so.
Yeah.
Did anyone have questions on that one? Michael?
Just flabbergasted it's required, but nope, no questions.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sorry about that. Mike?
No questions.
Mary Ann?
No questions.
All right, can I have a motion to approve first read of policy 6225?
Motion to approve policy 6225.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
I do. Gotta cheer Michael up.
All in favor?
Aye.
That passes. We just had an interesting discussion about like why that's even needed, so. Policy 6700, nutrition and food services, first read. Any questions, Mary Ann? No. Mike?
Just the formatting on the clean copy. Page 2, it's a little weird. So if we can just fix that, other than that, I'm fine. Actually, the end of page 1.
The technical term, weird.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
the
strange. Participation.
Paragraphing pushover? Okay.
Yep, if we can just clean that up, that's
Yep.
the only thing I see.
Absolutely.
Michael?
I don't know if the paragraph where it was.
Michael's happy that I'm fine.
Okay.
Michael, you should be doing the seconds on all of these also.
Yeah, I'll
So-
get right on that one.
Do I have a motion to approve first read of policy 6700?
Motion to approve policy 6700, first read.
Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Policy 6512, infection control, first reading. Any questions?
No questions.
Mike?
The only question that I had was on the influenza, and I apologize, was not here last week, was if, the way it's stated potentially that if somebody gets sick to the flu and they did not take or get the flu shot, are they going to be not covered if they take sick time?
No, that statement, I think you're talking about the end of the first paragraph.
Yep.
Deals with measles, and that's been in existence in the state for a while, that the district collects measles vaccination information. If someone contracts that without the virus, then the CBA language, if there is, I don't know if there is, I'd have to read, but you can't permit them to work.
Correct, but okay. We can talk then,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Mary Ann, anything? No? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve first read of policy 6512?
I make a motion to approve first reading of policy number 6512.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. First read of policy 4313, civility. Mary Ann, any questions?
No.
Mike?
No.
Michael?
Nope.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Can I just add something on
yes.
that? I just appreciate the board adopting this. It helps support our employees that there's behaviors that are and are not acceptable in the workplace from visitors, but also fellow staff members, and it just gives us something to point to.
Yeah.
To say that we're gonna treat people well, so I appreciate support in this.
And that's one of the reasons we added all of that, when we do have public comment, we added all the stuff in there about we need to be nice to each other and the community and the board and employees and everybody.
So, thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve first read of policy 4313?
Motion to approve 4313.
Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, policies for September,
We talked last month a little bit about us partnering with WASDA to do the policy updates, one series at a time, like the 1,000 and the 2,000. They have a new option, which is to do the essential policies first, which gets you in compliance with all the laws. So we're gonna start there.
It's a good idea.
And have them do those. So our plan is I'll work with Kayla, we'll get those marked up through WASDA over the next month. And then you'll see them as a block action item as opposed to each policy. But as soon as we get them marked up, I'll email them to you so that you have them in case there's anything you wanna look at. But right now, I don't know if there's 2 or 22 policies and in
so put them all
essence
together
of respect
so
for
make it a lot
time and
easier.
not having to do, 22 motions and seconds and votes. So if it's okay with you guys, we'll bring them as a block
Is it
approval.
2 seconds per second?
Per second,
Michael, that's
yeah.
a lot.
So.
It's a lot of reading.
So just wanted you to know that that's coming, and then after that, we'll proceed with the series at a time. And all the policies from tonight will be in consent agenda next time, so.
Thank you.
thank you.
Last thing, we don't have executive session,
We
correct?
do not.
Okay, we're pulling out our calendars and we're coming up with a date for retreat. Do you have possible options, Dr. Granger, or
I know Isaac had said last time when
After
he-
5.
After 5, so
and he also is available on Saturdays if we wanted to do a Saturday.
so either of those can work for me, just have a couple date options, I can make most things work.
What,
What days?
does anybody have like the 17th or the 18th available?
Of September?
Yeah.
I have the 17th and the 18th available. The 20th I'm on vacation for 2 weeks.
17th or 18th?
Should be fine for me.
Think so.
Would you like to make the executive decision of 17th or 18th?
I think so. After business hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, or 5 or 5:30, like, I don't know what travel time people might need, do you think Isaac needs a little
Isaac's
bit
the
of
one that
time
needs most, probably.
He
to,
said anything after 5,
okay.
and we can just meet till like what, midnight?
Totes.
I'm bringing a pillow and a
Let's do
blanket.
18th, let's do the 18th, cause that's the,
18th, September
that would be our
18th.
normal agenda review,
Okay.
so we can just put it with that.
5 o'clock?
Yes.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
And maybe we'll, since we'll be here longer, we'll have food,
Yes, we will do that. We will make that happen.
see who will give us free food, since we're poor, so.
We will make that happen for the 18th. As a reminder
It's
for
been a potluck.
Mary Ann and Gigi and Michael, we're meeting Thursday morning at 8:30. After the teachers ratify the collective bargaining agreement tomorrow morning, then the board will just quick meeting to vote for that,
5 minutes maybe.
5 minutes maybe.
Okay.
So, and we'll be here in this room, but also have virtual options, so whatever works best, so.
Awesome, all right, well, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Do I have a second?
Really?
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned, thank you.
Thank you all.
Still recording.